recording. Yes. Actually, see, until now, we've created so many test cases and all, right? But whatever test cases that we have created, every time we are running it in Scratchbook. So you see that I can run it in Scratchbook. But what are the disadvantages that this Scratchbook has? Can anybody tell me?
It is a temporary purpose.
Yeah, nothing is stored here.
The log will be deleted for some time,
Yes,
after some
it
time.
acts as a temporary catch sort of a thing. So logs will not be created. So that is the reason we can't use Scratchbook for our actual executions and all. So they came up with this execution list. Okay. So let me open it in new section. So I will lock it here. Okay, and I will do a checkout tree on this. So what happens in this execution list is usually we will create, first let's create a folder here, right click, create one folder, okay, and name that folder as demo web shop, okay. And in this particular folder, in order to create execution list, right? One way is create an execution list by clicking on this two triangles are there, right? So with that icon, or else you can go over here and even here you can see create normal. If you click on this, it will create execution list only. See, new execution list. This is one way to do, okay? And other way to do is this is the folder that you want to create execution list upon. One second, let me do a checkout on this. Okay, so now I want to create execution list for all these test cases. So where do I have all of them? In this folder only, right? So what I'll do is drag this entire folder, go to execution and drop it here. See, now an execution list has been created and also all the test cases have come up here. Okay, all I need to do is quickly rename this execution list, or else if you want to drag specific test cases into some you can drag that specific test case and drop it here. Okay, and how do you run your execution list? The normal only. Okay, like all you need to do is right click and say run, or else from the execution list you can directly say run. The shortcut is F6 button. Okay, and you can just run it. See, now it logged in and it logged out and everything is green, and you can see, right, logs have been created now. See, I ran this test case on 25th of Feb 2021 at 7 o'clock 5 minutes 57 seconds, and this is what is executed, and the total duration it took is 13 seconds. So this is how the logs will be created. Okay, and one more important thing that you have to remember is whenever we drag and drop a test case here, usually it will not be filled with any color. See, it will be plain like this. But if it has run successfully, then it will be in this way. Okay. For suppose if it did not run successfully, like it fails. Wait, I will let it to fail. Okay, now I'll just keep this open. And this time what I do is I'll drag this successful login only for another time. Okay, and this time I want this to fail. Let's see. Let us run. Now it will fail. See, if it fails, it will be in red color. Okay. And similarly, for suppose, now if I cancel it, let me run this. I'm canceling the execution. Then see, it will be an orange exclamation mark. Okay, three ways. One is green, that means completely passed. Then the one is red, that means it is failed. Another one is this orange exclamatory mark whenever the execution has been cancelled. Okay, is it clear till here? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One second. Okay. So now we know how to create execution list, how to run our test cases, and how this color things changes and all. If you observe in the test cases, we have test configuration parameters, right? Am I correct? You'll be mentioning some browser and all in this test configuration parameters, right? So in the same way, in the execution list also, you have test configuration parameters. So what is the difference between this test configuration parameters and this test configuration parameters? Okay, let me tell you. What happens is, coming to these test configuration parameters, you can pass different values here. Not only this browser thing, you can pass different values like username, okay, password. All these can be passed via test configuration parameters. But how can I use them in my test case is, all I need is the syntax like CP of that particular test configuration parameter type. Okay, I'll create one and I will show you. So now let me create one test case for test configuration parameters. Okay, and what I am doing is I'll change the work state to inwork, and here I'll just drag this login reusable block. Okay, and for this business parameters, whatever I have here, okay, I need email, password, and login are the main things. So what I do is I'll create three test configuration parameters: email, password, login, or else I'll just say email and password. And can we delete this test configuration parameter? No. All you need to do is right click and say reset to default value. So it will go off. Okay. And here in this email, let me give this Ramya.496. And the password is test 8123. Okay. So what I do is I want to access the value of my test configuration parameter. So the syntax I already told you, right? Curly braces, CP of, what is that name? Email. Similarly for the password, it braces CP of password. And for this, we actually directly give the click. Did you understand till this point? And let us add one more test configuration parameter here, which is nothing but our browser. And what is the browser value? Chrome. What I do is I will just log in and open demo web shop. Okay. Now I will run this particular test case. Okay. I'm running it in Scratchbook. See, clicked on login, it entered the details and see, and it just logged in successfully. Right? Am I correct? Hello?
Yeah, Ramya.
Okay. Now let us see what is the difference between this one and the test configuration in execution list. Drag this and drop this onto a dummy test execution list. Where is that? Okay. So this is the one. I'll just say F2 test configuration parameters. Okay. And I'll just log it off. Yeah, I am just in my home page. Now all I do is I'll run this. See, now this took the credentials of Ramya.496 because they are passed via test configuration parameters in the test cases, right? And what is the main difference here is, one second. I'm just trying. Okay. So now what happens is I want to pass different test configuration parameters here. I can do that by using this. I'll show you. I'll just say email and the value is this. So this time I'm not using the same email ID as I'm using over there. And I'm passing only this one. I'm not passing password. Let us see what will happen. I just kept my home page and I'm running this. Let us see which account does it log in. It went on login. See, this time it changed the email ID. Did you observe?
But Ramya, initially we have given 496, right?
Yes,
But where are those values? It's not reflecting in execution list.
that is what. Usually what happens is if you are giving any configuration parameters in test cases, when you drag these test cases and drop them on the execution list, these configuration parameters will not be carried along with them. Okay, but still, whenever that particular test case executes through Scratchbook or through execution list, Usually, we will look for the configuration parameters in Scratchbook only. Sorry, when we are running it through Scratchbook, it will look for the configuration parameters in test cases only. But when you are running it through execution list, it will check for the execution list configuration parameters first. If you have any configuration parameter at the execution list level, it will pick up that, and whatever you don't have, it will look for them in the test case.
Okay.
Shall I repeat it?
Yeah. Once.
Yes, Ramya.
Yeah. See, two ways of execution. Okay. One is through Scratchbook, another one is through execution list. When we are running it through Scratchbook, where will we start our execution? Only in the test cases section we can do this, right? So it will look for the configuration parameters in the test cases section only. Okay, but when we are running it through execution list, what does it mean? We are running it in execution section, right? So first what it will do is it will look for the test configuration parameters in the execution list level. Okay, if they are not there, okay, for suppose I don't have them, then it will go for the test cases. If you observe here, what did I do? I gave only here, I passed all three values. Okay, like I passed email as well as password also. But coming to the execution list level, I just passed only email. So what it did is it has taken email from here. So it did not search for this email here. Okay. And for password, it did not find any value here for password. So immediately it went to test case and it took this password. Did you understand?
Yeah, Ramya.
This is also one of the important interview question. Okay, so please do remember this. One second. Yeah. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next one. Is it clear to everybody? Asking once again.
Yes, Ramya.
Okay. Yeah. So now let's move on. Let us discuss about recovery and cleanup scenarios. So usually what happens in real time is this execution list will not have one test case as we did now. Okay, we will have a huge flow like 10 test cases, 20 test cases, or 5 to 10, depending upon the applications and the test cases they have. So we will be having so many test cases as part of one execution list. So this is a theory part. Please understand it here. Okay. So think like we are having total 5 test cases in one execution list. Okay. First one has run successfully. All green. I'm happy. Second one has run successfully. All green. I'm happy. But coming to third one, I don't know. It has failed. What happened is at the time it has failed, it opened some pop-up. Okay. And now when fourth one is trying to get executed, okay, say like or else instead of opening some pop-up, it did not log out. When fourth one is trying to execute, it is also failing now because it is unable to log in. Because already one account has been logged in, right? So it will not find the login button. Now the same chain goes on. Even fifth one will be failed, right? So now if you observe here, because of this third one, these two are also failing. Am I correct? Did you understand? Do you agree for this scenario?
Yeah, Ramya.
I want yes or no from all of you. Please speak. This is one of the important interview question. Okay. So now because of one test case, we are failing for all the remaining test cases. So in order to avoid this situation, they came up with recovery or cleanup scenarios. So what will happen in recovery and cleanup is, recovery means it is nothing but giving second life to a test case. Okay, and even in the second life, if your test case fails, then immediately cleanup will come, clean the entire thing, and then it will mark your test case as failed. If in your second life your test case passes, then immediately it will be marked as green only. I'll show you this how to create and all. Okay, give me a moment. Let me think of one thing. How to create this recovery? Like, what is the flow I should pick it up? Okay. For creating recovery and cleanup scenarios, usually for the project folder level we will have, or else we can create folders based on which we want the common recovery and cleanup scenarios. So right click on your folder and see there is an icon here, plus icon, create recovery scenario collection. Just click on this. Okay, and if you right click on this recovery scenarios folder, see there are two icons. This is the recovery scenario icon and this is the cleanup scenario. Okay, click on this recovery scenario as well as cleanup scenario. So now let us pick one test case. Okay, for calling this recovery and cleanup scenarios, or else, okay, let us take this and this test case flow only. Here what happens, see, every time we are directly opening the demo web shop. So what I do is I'll keep my demo web shop open in one page. Okay, so here it is already open. So now when it starts to open it again, obviously it will fail. So what I do is, as part of my recovery, I am just giving close browser forcefully. Okay, one second. Why do I have? Okay, that day I was showing you. I will delete all this. Task kill. Yeah, close my browser forcefully. And after closing, I want to wait for some time. So I will just add tbox wait. I will say wait for 5000 seconds. Okay. So I will drag this and drop it as part of recovery. Okay. First, let us see how this recovery works. Okay. That is all. Nothing else. All you need is whatever you want, you can drag and drop it there. And coming to the execution list, where is that one? This is the flow, right? Now let's start executing them. Right click and say run. See, it opens second tab. And now, see, there are two things. So it will fail. See, now it started executing recovery. That's why it closed the entire browser forcefully. And now see, second time it started executing the whole test case once again. And it marked it as green now. Okay, what I do is I'll keep another demo. I'm unable to open another demo web shop. Okay, but it's okay. The first one we can see. If you see the first execution, let me open it from here. See, this is the first one. See the old log and the current log. Okay. And if you see, link logout was not found. So what happened? Then it called for the recovery scenario. It executed this. And then after recovering it, it executed the whole test case once again. Did you understand this? The basic concept of recovery. Yes, no.
I mean, after killing that task at the Chrome browser, why we need to wait for 5 seconds? Immediately you can start it, right?
After killing the task, why we need to wait is what happens is usually here what are you doing? You are passing command. Am I correct? We are passing the task kill command. After passing task kill command, in order to execute that, it will take 1 or 2 seconds. Okay, and if your Tosca is super fast, or if you give this close browser and open URL side by side, then immediately what happens is whatever URL that you are opening, even that will be closed as part of this task kill only. Like they will execute super fast way, so this one will overlap that. Okay,
Yeah.
that is the reason always after task kill, just give some wait time. Only then it works fine. What Tosca considers here is it will think after passing arguments I am done. It doesn't bother whether that operation has been completed or not. I said you that day also. Do you remember? It will just pass commands. That's all. Okay. Any other questions? Did you understand what is recovery? Hello?
Ramya, can you explain once again? Actually, that recovery scenario we have mentioned in the test cases. Okay, and we have run the test cases through execution list. So first they have consider in execution configuration, and if it is not there, then they have consider in test cases. So
That
can
is
we?
just configuration parameters. That is totally different topic.
Okay. Uh,
For the recovery, one important thing that you need to remember is recovery and cleanup scenarios can't be executed from scratch book.
mm,
That means if your test case fails when you are running in scratch book, it will not call for any recovery. But if your test case fails when you are running it in execution list, it usually sees if there is any recovery. If we have recovery, then it will execute it. If you don't have recovery, it doesn't mind. It will just fail it.
But
so
we are mentioning, sorry, Nilesh, but we are mentioning those recoveries in test cases. So how it will pick that from the test cases?
See here, we mentioned these recoveries at the folder level where we have our test cases. Now my test cases are in the same folder, right? So that is the reason it will go to this parent folder and see whether do you have any recoveries in you or not. So for suppose if my test cases is in different folder, okay, let us do one thing. I'll copy this template instance and I'm creating another folder here. I'll do a checkout tree. I'll create another folder here and I'll paste my instances here. Okay, sorry, not only instances. What I do is owner. So 1 second. What I do is I will copy this test case. I'll paste it here. Why I picked this one is this has no dependency at all, right? This is totally individual one. For the other ones, I have some dependency because my template is over there. So that's why I picked this one. So now let me drag this and drop it onto this folder. Yeah, this is the one, right? Validate new user. Yes, this one only. So I will right click and I will run this. Let's see. See now this test case has failed, but does it call for any recovery or no? Let's see. See, it just failed. And if you look at the logs also, see, no recovery has come up here. But for suppose, let us run the same test case from the folder where we have recovery. Okay, so go to this, and this is the one, right? So drag this and drop this onto this. Okay, so I'm running it from this execution list. Right click and say, shall I keep it in a new one or else? That would be better, or else again you will be confused. I'll drag this and drop this. So this is the one. Okay, right click and run. Let's see. See, now this test case will fail and it calls for recovery, but still again it will fail. Let's see that. See, it called for recovery, so it closed this entire browser and it started running the test case once again. Says this again it failed, right? So now it will look for cleanup, but I don't have any cleanup. So that's why it will fail this. Let us see. See, after verification failure, it went and executed the recovery. And again it started executing the whole test case. Did you understand?
Yes.
Any other questions? Hello? Recovery in simple terms is nothing but giving second life to our test case. Okay. And now let us add cleanup also on C. So go to your recovery scenarios. So what I do is in cleanup, okay, let us do one thing. Here, in cleanup also let us add the same thing. Close browser forcefully. Okay, and now I'll try to execute this one more time and see. Right click and run. I'll just close this. So it will open. It will register and it fails now. So now it will look for the recovery. Yes, we have recovery. So it will execute it now and it will again start executing the test case. The second life it is now. So register, again give all the details. Register, it fails again. And now it will call the cleanup. And then it will mark this test case as failure. Yeah, cleanup has come. Okay. See, one more important thing that I notice, people usually don't mind like which log they are in. This is my previous log. Now, if I want to verify the latest log details, have to go to that and then verify. Don't get confused. Okay. See now it failed here. So it executed recovery scenario. Okay. And in its second life also it failed. So that is the reason it executed cleanup scenario. And then it marked that particular test case as failed. So is it clear till here everybody?
In recovery of second scenario also it is getting failed. So what makes the difference here?
Usually our target is don't not to let it fail. Here I wantedly did that. See, our target is the same, but I am doing these things wantedly here to show you that how do we call cleanup and all.
Okay.
Any other questions, doubts?
Where you are mentioned in the cleanup scenario in the same folder, right?
Yeah, same folder here only. See, this is recovery scenario, this is cleanup scenario. To make there is nothing here. Don't think too much. It's just like recovery is giving second life to our test case. If in case your second life also fails, then it is like you are dead. Okay, totally dead. So that's why it will call for cleaning and then it will clean everything and it will just say come and it will mark this as failed. That's all. If in case your second life you have been succeeded, then it will go on. Like nothing will be called out. Okay, the execution goes on with the next test cases. That's all. Okay, yeah. Hello? Somebody is saying me something. I missed it. Okay, I think it's clear to everybody. Now, another important thing in recovery scenario that we all should know. Now we are saying, yes, we will call for recovery. We know that. But from at which point should the execution begin? I'm saying, yes, I'll give you a second chance, second life. Okay. So, but then you can ask me, at which point will my second life begin? Like, will you begin at the moment I died? Or else, will you begin it from my childhood, like from the 0 age onwards? Or else, will you begin at the point, at the test step where I have failed? Like, if I failed at my third 3 years of age, so will you start it from the third test step? So, there are three things. Okay. One is like 0, another one that is nothing but 0 is nothing but the beginning of the test case. Another one is beginning of the test step. Another one is at the point at which it has failed, the test step value point. So this thing, whatever it has to run in recovery, this thing will be given as part of retry level, they call it. And usually this retry level is present in the properties. Okay, if you click on this recovery scenario, see here I have a retry level property and it has three values: test case, test step and test step value. So currently it is test case. That is the reason when I am saying start a new life, it is starting from the beginning of the test case. For suppose if I change this test case to test step, okay, and then execute this, then what will happen is it will start executing from verification of success message instead of opening demo webshop folder. So accordingly, I should change my recovery scenario for that. Okay, so let us do one thing. What I do is in recovery this time, I will add this close browser forcefully and where is this open? Yeah, here it is. Open demo web shop. Drag this and drop it onto the recovery. And for open browser, I need to pass the URL that it needs to open. Okay, so this thing I changed in my recovery. Now I just go to this execution list and run this. And one more thing, my recovery has in retry level as test step now. See, it failed. Now it will call for recovery. Now it will start from the test step where it has failed. Where did it fail actually? It failed at the verification of success message. But now here also it cannot see the success message, right? So it will fail once again. So this time it called for cleanup. Let us see that. Okay. So see now, after recovery scenario, what is the next one that has been executed? Verify the success message instead of opening the demo web shop. Did you understand? Hello? Okay. So this is all about recovery and cleanup scenarios and retry levels. And you can practice on this. Please try to execute as many as possible through execution list so that you will know the difference between this scratchbook and execution list, and also you will understand the recovery and cleanup part. In every interview, usually this is a mandatory question: what is recovery and cleanup scenarios? Okay. Any other questions? Any doubts?
Ramya will be running multiple times in a day as a tester. Then, so suppose if I come tomorrow, so can I see all those logs of execution list?
Yes, yes, you can see that. But suppose today we ran all this, right? I'm doing a check in all. You saw that, right? So again, on Monday class, you can see all these logs.
Okay.
So how many days that log will be written in
Like,
scrapbook?
like how many days do you have that execution list for? Those many days, the log will be there.
Okay. There is no restriction. It is
There is no
10. Okay.
Any other questions? Any doubts? Okay, cool. So now you all of you know how to create execution list, how to create modules, test cases, recovery and cleanup scenarios also, and how to use TCDs also. So by end of today, I'll be sending you a task. Okay, I'll ping you in your group. So please complete the task and let me know. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today's session. Thank you. And on Monday, let us see how to pull reports and all on this execution list. And how do we have this dynamic time when we are discussing about different weights? We discussed about synchronization and all, right? So let us see those topics also on Monday. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, tomorrow don't do we have class?
Tomorrow is Saturday, right? Oh,
It's
sorry.
it's Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, then let's cover these things tomorrow only.
Okay.
Okay. I thought today is Friday. I'm sorry.
Maybe no.
Ramya, you're so ahead of us.
Yes, I'm looking for Saturday actually.
You are in weekend mood. Huh?
Yeah, I'm in sleep
Wait
mode.
for one day.
Yes. Okay, cool. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.